So this is basically what I'm going to talk about today. Do a quick introduction to manufacturing to give you guys a bit of a sense of essentially the scope of manufacturing and the benefits to Manitoba. We're going to talk just a little bit about the steps, the general steps in manufacturing, just to kind of give you, again, a sense of depth and what basically manufacturing covers, because I think it's a lot bigger than most people would think. Then I want to talk a little bit about the different careers and education levels and opportunities within one manufacturing environment. Then I want to talk a little bit about my career, and then to finish off with some key points, takeaways, and then obviously any questions you guys have at the end. So for manufacturing, we employ just over 65,000 people in Manitoba. So that's about 11% of all people work in manufacturing. So again, it's a fairly large industry. Manufacturers sell about $14 billion of products, which is about 12% of Manitoba's economy. So again, a really big net contributor to the success of Manitoba, and very important that we keep manufacturing going in Manitoba. So for general manufacturing, essentially you're going to have a product that you start off with. So someone's got to go out and sell that product. So someone's obviously designed that product at some time, but obviously you got to go out there and sell it. So obviously working hand in hand with quoting people, the salesman can go and figure out, again, what the value is, what he or she can go and get that job for. Then we got people who enter the order. So typically it's into a computer system, but depending on the size of the company, it could be manual. So again, computer system is basically going to create a schedule that the fabrication cells are going to work to. So once you kind of have that, once you have that order in, now basically somebody has to make any tweaks or design changes to that product. So we've got design that has to jump in there. Now we have purchasing who comes next into the process. So they're going to take what the designers have done. They may have to buy raw material. They may have to buy finished goods. They may have to buy fasteners or whatever it is that's going to go into the product. And then finally, not finally, but the next step is basically fabrication and assembly. So now either you're converting sheet metal into a product, you could be converting textiles, you could be converting wood, plastics, whatever it is, you still have a transformation of raw material into a finished good. So once that finished good is complete, obviously you got to have a quality check. So again, you got to have some people checking to make sure that the product matches what the customer is expecting. Then you got to get that product to somebody. So we have a group of people in manufacturing that's dealing with shipping. So whether that's around the world or North America or whatever it might be, there's got to be arrangements made for that. So basically that's the overall manufacturing process, but there's also support groups. So there's a group of people that are extremely important in making sure that the products and everything is ready to go. So you have maintenance and facilities that basically have to keep the machines running. So obviously if you've got big machines or whatever it is, somebody's got to keep those running by repairing it. You got to keep the building repaired. So there's a lot that goes into that. Obviously you've got accounting that has to come into play at some point, both to pay your bills, because obviously you have to pay your bills, but also to collect money and collect payments from customers. So accounting jumps in there as well. You've got human resources, so obviously dealing with the hiring of people, training, all that kind of stuff. So very important to have them as part of the process. And in our case at Price, we do have a testing lab that also jumps in from time to time to make sure that our products are actually meeting industry standards and specifications. So what I want to do now is just briefly walk through, again, you kind of see the scope. We're going from quoting all the way to shipping and support groups around there. I just want to talk and kind of give a little bit of an outline of the various careers that are available. It's not a comprehensive list, but I think it's going to give you guys a good sense of the variety of opportunities. And I think what you'll be able to see is that the list that I have here matches if you walk upstairs with the various schooling and education that is available. So we have people with Bachelor of Arts degrees, we have people with Bachelor of Science degrees, we have accounting and commerce, so obviously, like I talked about, you got to get paid. Drafting and engineering. In a manufacturing environment, engineering not only includes the design of the product, which obviously is a big part of it, but we also have process engineers, manufacturing engineers. We have a variety of different people, again, looking at the building, trying to make sure structurally and things like that. So again, a wide variety of drafting and engineering opportunities within a manufacturing environment. Supply chain. So like I talked about, the purchasing and shipping components. So there's, again, another area of opportunity. Another big one that's obviously very, very important is the trades. So your millwrights, your industrial electricians, your plumbers, tool and die makers, machinists, all these groups come into play, you know, obviously keeping the building in tip-top shape and keeping the machinery in tip-top shape. So, you know, again, another facet, another opportunity within a manufacturing building. Obviously now with, you know, with the internet and the web, you know, managing a website and you know, different ways of entering orders is extremely important. So software development, again, is something that, that is done. Like for example, at Price, we basically have an entire group that manages our website as well as all of our marketing aids. So again, a lot of software development and things like that go into that part of it. Moving on, you've got your management level. So that could be production management, so people running the shop floor, the actual what goes on in the transformation of material. You also have obviously your upper level executives who are controlling the overall operation of the company itself. As you start to look kind of onto the shop floor, you've got welders, you've got truck drivers, you've got security people, you've got health and safety representatives. Again, health and safety is a big part and something that we're really concerned with in manufacturing. Obviously, we have a lot of big machinery, you know, and that machinery doesn't stop when you say ouch. So we have to do whatever we can to mitigate and to avoid injury versus, you know, obviously dealing with the injury after the fact. So health and safety is extremely important. Technologists, so certified engineering technologists doing designs, you know, looking at processes. Again, there's a lot of opportunity there. You know, on the shop floor, you've got general assemblers, so people assembling product. You've got machine operators. So here we've got a brake press, so forming sheet metal. You've got painters, you've got assemblers, you've got sewing machine operators. You know, basically anything you can think of in order to transform material, there's opportunities within one building to see a lot of that. So as mentioned, I've been in manufacturing for about 12 years, so I've got a few of my own views on the benefits of working in manufacturing, and obviously I have a focus and enjoy my time there. So for me, one of the big things is that no 2 days are ever the same. There's a wide variety of challenges, lots of firefighting. You know, every day brings a new challenge, something new comes up. Maybe you're short of material, maybe you've got too much material. You know, maybe a machine breaks down and you have to figure out a different way to get that order out the door. So there's a lot of variety. One building, you know, whether it be Price Industries, whether it be MacDon, whether it be Standard Aero, whatever those manufacturing companies are, there's a whole, you know, there's a whole mess of career opportunities. You don't have to leave in order to try something new. You know, if you land with the right company who's willing to, you know, to help train you and help grow that individual, you can try a variety of things. You'll see for myself, I've gone through a variety of different steps in my career, basically without having to leave Price. So again, kind of touched on the great potential for career development. So now I'm going to spend a little bit of time about my personal career path. I graduated from Transcona Collegiate here in Winnipeg, and then completed my engineering degree at the U of M with a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering, which is now, I believe, manufacturing engineering, basically the same premise. And then I completed my professional engineering designation essentially 4 years after completing schooling. So the professional engineering process is basically like an apprenticeship in a trade where you mentor underneath a professional engineer, and basically you do some reporting, you do some variety of projects, and the association for the engineering tracks kind of what everybody's doing to make sure that you're meeting their requirements to become an engineer. If I look at my choice of why I chose industrial engineering, again, I enjoyed the physics and the math and the chemistry and that kind of stuff out of high school, so I thought engineering would be a good fit. And then when I looked at industrial versus civil versus mechanical, I really found that the industrial had a wide variety of opportunities. It wasn't, you know, it didn't seem like it was pegging you into one operation. You know, it kind of gave you a little bit of knowledge in each area, so you could basically become a jack of all trades, almost master of none type thing. So obviously with my schooling, I started my career as an industrial engineer. So in that, I was looking at capital equipment purchases. So basically buying, large pieces of equipment from $1,000 up to, $2.5 million. So again, a wide variety of size of projects. One of the other big things is looking at product flow. So making sure that that product is moving through the plant floor in the most effective means possible. We don't want any waste in the process. We want to make sure that everything that we're doing to that product is actually adding value. So again, we can minimize our costs and sell more product. Project management became a big thing in my career. So leading projects from start to finish. Again, so that's, it's working with a team. It's having a variety of people, from a variety of areas in the company, working on a team, working on a project from basically start to implementation on the shop floor. Was also able to do a little bit of equipment design. So again, touching a little bit on the mechanical engineering, some electrical engineering, and being able to be involved in those types of projects. Lean manufacturing. You'll find in manufacturing, in any manufacturing environment, one of the big things that everybody's talking about is lean manufacturing. So it's absolutely critical to get knowledge and experience and be exposed to lean manufacturing methodology. So once I got my professional engineering designation, I had the opportunity to grow into becoming the manufacturing engineering manager. So in that role, I was responsible for leading a group of people towards a goal and towards performance metrics. So company defines a goal for the area. We work towards meeting those goals, from hitting targets and doing all those different types of things. I oversaw the maintenance, machine shop, and industrial engineering operations. So again, with my engineering degree, now I'm looking at maintenance, now I'm looking at machine shop type of leadership. So again, another great opportunity. Performance management is definitely something that has to be done in a leadership role, so making sure that people are doing what they need to do, and if they're not, working with them to improve them so that they can meet those requirements. Like I say, I touched on project management and lean manufacturing, obviously a little bit earlier. In this role, my professional engineering designation is extremely important, because obviously as new young engineers come up, they want to be able to be mentored, and I was in that position to be able to do that for them. So in about the last year or two, again, I had another opportunity to grow and to round out my knowledge, again, with an overall goal of at some point becoming a VP of operations. So what I needed to do was to spend some time in the actual production side. So now I'm the value stream manager for our louver line. It's a $3 million per year business unit, and I'm responsible for that business unit from the quoting stage that we talked about earlier, all the way basically to shipping the product out the door. So obviously we have customer requirements, we have orders that come in, and we have to make sure that those get out in a timely manner. So again, a lot of organization, a lot of time management, a lot of making sure that everybody's working towards the proper things. So again, project management, project planning is extremely key. Now I've taken over the responsibility for some product engineering. So now we're actually designing and building some new products. So that's under my guidance as well. Communication. Obviously there's lots of meetings and lots of discussions and lots of on the floor. So communication is key, both written and oral. You have to be able to communicate effectively and clearly. Again, lean manufacturing definitely comes into it as well. And then, obviously financial performance. So I'm responsible for profit, loss, expenses, all that kind of stuff. So now, again, taking on a little bit of accounting. So understanding what the balance sheets, what all those different performance measurements mean. So again, you can see that as you grow, you definitely touch a lot more areas, need a lot more knowledge. In general, working hours are 8 to 4:30. Most manufacturing plants are going to run 3 shifts, but office type operations, accounting, management, design, those are normally done during the day, just how it all works out. Communication is key. So again, in manufacturing, you're talking to a variety of people at a variety of different levels, from people on the shop floor up to executives, up to the president of the company. So you need to be able to communicate effectively, clearly. Teamwork. I can't think of very much in my job that doesn't involve teamwork. So working with a group of people. Other than report writing and things like that, it's typically just me sitting at my desk, but otherwise it's interacting, it's being, having a couple people around to make sure that we're working towards the proper solutions. I don't travel a whole lot, just mostly for training into the US if necessary. For myself, where I am in my role, business casual dress, so basically like I'm dressed right now, is typical. The executives and presidents, they have to wear the suits and ties and all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I can be fairly comfortable. And I found for myself, kind of the most effective and the thing that I enjoy the most is the 50-50 time behind the desk, behind the computer, versus on the shop floor, working with the guys on the shop floor, understanding what's going on in that area. So a couple slides here just on key points and takeaways that I think I'd like to leave you guys with, whether it's manufacturing or whatever it is. Flexibility. So obviously within my career, I've had the opportunity to grow and maybe do things that are a little bit outside my comfort zone, but it's doing those types of things that are going to get you opportunities and allow you to grow within a company or wherever it is. One of the things that we use for price is to get the right people on the bus and then put them in the right seats. So what that means is to hire for who that person is, for their attributes, and then you can train their skills. So those things of respect, trust, honesty, teamwork, those are things that are difficult to train. Those come from the individual themselves. So what we try and do is bring people in that demonstrate the respect, trust, honesty, hard work, teamwork, and then we can refine their skills with some training or whatever it is to make them better at their, whatever their greatest skill is. So, if you're an engineer, come in with the good attributes and we'll refine your skills to become a better engineer. But if you come in as an engineer and you don't have those attributes, it's going to be very hard to change those. I just want to touch on the importance of communication. Very rarely in manufacturing are you sitting behind a desk in your own little silo. You're out, you're about, you're talking to people, you're trying to solve problems. So again, you can't hide from that communication, whether it's oral or written. Taking a service mentality. So again, trying to make the next process better, trying to make things better for the next person in the process. You really want to help out versus worrying about what's better for you. It's what's better for the company. It's what's better for the next guy in line. Problem solving. Obviously, there's a lot of problems, a lot of firefighting that goes on in manufacturing. But really, what we're realizing now as manufacturers, you got to get to the root cause. You got to get right down to why that problem is happening and solve it there, versus just solving the symptom, because ultimately you're not going to solve the problem if you don't get right down to truly why it's happening. Lean manufacturing, it's absolutely critical. It's what's allowed price to survive through a situation where the Canadian dollar is now at par with the American dollar. It's lean manufacturing. It's been driving the waste out of the process, improving things every day that has allowed us to continue to grow and prosper, obviously in some challenging times. And we're doing it at Price, they're doing it at MacDon, Standard Aero, New Flyer, all those variety of different manufacturers are practicing lean manufacturing concepts. And the last thing is basically hard work and earning what you get. You can't come in expecting to be the president. It doesn't happen that way. You have to start somewhere, wherever that is in your career, wherever you choose to start, and it's only going to be through hard work, dedication, that you're going to get those opportunities to grow and obviously become more successful and grow in your opportunities. So